What's up, sleepyhead?
What's up, no one?
How you doing?
Just getting the stream up and going.
I noticed. I'm flying to get my new toy.
New toy.
Yes, new toy.
I am collecting Alliance event trophies.
No. Oh, it's Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek stream.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of crew questions. So you know what? We'll go live, talk crews, do a little grinding, collect some boxes, hit some research buttons. I have all these things to collect now. So
That's still that's a whole stark different of a game.
it is a much. Hey, Burn, how you doing? Ryan, Super AMD, Chris with a paddle. Man, Daz. No one shouts here.
That's
Bronco, how are y'all doing? Henry says, how about a happy birthday for my girl, Caitlin? Happy birthday, Caitlin. Hope you're doing wonderful. Hope you look better than that dude, Henry Sims. And hopefully you're happier than Henry is. Henry's ugly.
Come on, readjust
Just
your screen
that's
and
what
your chat.
readjust my screen and my chat. Oh, yeah, that is kind of wide open up there in the middle of everything, isn't it?
And then your little chat talk thing is in the middle of the screen.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Whoopsies. That was for the live stream we did with Fish and stuff on Friday night for another name. Burns says a Rick Duel stream. You darn right a Rick Duel stream. You know why? Because Rick Duels is awesome.
No one cares.
Yeah, no one cares. Rick Duels is awesome. And maybe that Ramekin Gaming will stop by. Who knows? Maybe Ramekin will stop by. Hey, Harv, Shinjo, Thomas, Officer Kramer. That's a new name. Officer Kramer, your mic is hot and open. If you could go ahead and push to talk, that bad boy would be greatly appreciated. But yeah. Some kind of monkey said did three full premium pulls and got 2 full pulls of Zao.
Oh, go.
Wow, you can
Wow.
you can go stuck a fat
Go
D3.
buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, fat D3 in the cell. That's terrible. And yeah, go buy lottery tickets right now because you just might be a billionaire.
The luckiest man in the world.
Yeah, 2 full pulls on Zouse. Let me ask you, check your thing, because here's what happens a lot. And they'll tell you it's a display error, where it shows you the second full pull is not actually a full pull. Go check your shards, see if you actually got 60-something worth of Zao. Not to be negative Nancy, but that's a very common issue right now, where if you get a full pull, your next pull will show a full pull, and it isn't actually a full pull according to Scopely, and you don't get your shards. So check that out.
You did the 5 chest and you have it on the first one, and then you hit the open all. It shows it twice for me.
Yeah.
I did that happen.
Yeah, it does that to me too. One of the things that he says he got no Severus shards. I will point out that Severus works when your opponent makes you burn, and not when you make them burn.
Yeah.
So that makes a difference. And you know, I originally saw Severus and thought, hey, he's going to be amazing, and then they released him, and
Not amazing.
then I realized that he works the opposite of how.
Yeah, he's
thought that
essentially
he's
like
horrible.
the Pan crew is almost.
The pan crew at least lets you raid faster.
Yeah. Epic Champs says the Scopely survey made me think of what new officers I'd like to see. Let's see, I would like to see a bunch. I'll be honest, man. That's in terms of like things that want to keep you in the game. The thought of me getting Q and Picard and Cisco and Worf, yeah, it's like that rustles my jimmies in a positive way, very positive way.
Mm-hmm.
I know no one is
Possibilities.
obsessed with DS9. I mean, I love DS9.
Oh yeah,
But,
DS9, my fave.
I mean, you did name your kid after one of the characters. So
Yes, I did.
some kind of monkey says I have 30 out of 34 Zao.
Oh, dude.
But see, he said he got 2 full pulls. That's not even 1 full pull. Something's not adding up. Something's not
Zao
right.
only
Equal
takes
to.
Oh, he said 32 out of 36. That's still not a full pull. So something's not right.
Huh?
And that's
That only takes 18 to unlock originally, though.
okay. So
So this one's
18.
only going to be 18.
Well, yeah. So if he had 18, but he got 2 full pulls, he'd have at least 36.
Right, but he'd use 18 for the start. So
So yeah.
You don't
So
have 18
one
after.
full, exactly what I expected. 1 full pull and then 1 false look. Sorry to burst your bubble, by the way. I'm sorry that I've got all this like negative knowledge about Star Trek Fleet Command, but yep. Sorry, some kind of monkey. Your 2 full pulls are actually 1 full pull, and then another set of however many Zal shards the second one was. Probably 1 or 2. I love bursting bubbles.
You still got a full pull of Zal.
You did, yeah, for sure. I mean, be excited about that, but I'd be more excited about 2 full pulls back to back. Like the RNG of that, nuts. Oh gosh, the dilithium requirements for these freaking upgrades, man. These researches.
Then they bring back the pure up front back.
Yeah, I just did another battleship one. 12 million dilithium. Hey DW, I'm doing well. Funny says great show. Oh yeah, it's a great show, all right. This is an amazing show. It's so amazing because this dude has his name on his hat. How pretentious is this dude? But Silk says, Rev, I tagged you on your Discord about Eclipse Armada nerfing. I saw that, Silk. I have not run any Eclipse test in weeks, so I'd have to rerun some stuff. I'm not saying I don't believe you. I think the logs kind of speak for themselves, but their obsession with altering things in the background we'll never understand. It's like Pepperidge Farm. It's like, do you remember when the Mayflower sucked? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Wait, that was today. Damn.
That's just...
Funny says I'm 5 away from unlocking Nero. What level are you, Funny Shark? Actually, better question. What server are you from? What server are you from? And John, I definitely am ready for your dumb question. You should have dropped it already. I figured you assumed I was ready.
There's never a dumb question.
That's not true. All right, let's pull our gold trophy. See what we get. Oh, John says you recommended me to get the Bortus. It's tier 5, almost tier 6. How do I kill Saladins with it? Oofy. Okay. It is possible, but it's super, super difficult. The Bortus is number 2 to the Sally. Don't get me wrong. I love my Bortus one, and I need to make the Bortus video because apparently I skipped that one somehow a year ago. I swear I made it. Maybe I just never uploaded it or whatever happened. But
I think you were planning to make the video. You talked to me about it. Like, okay, you did yours first. I'll take it a few days and I'll post mine. I think it was one of those.
So I don't know. But anyway, to answer your question, to do that, you would need max anti-faction officers and Yuki. So shield stripping and then the max anti-factions, and you could then probably take it down. But John says I did not make it. John, you know what? This week, remind me. Ping me on Discord, and I will make it. Heck, I might make it tonight in the middle of the night. I've got some stuff doing Eve Echoes tonight. I've got a couple of missions I have to run with the fleet. But, you know what? We might do that tonight. We might make that Bortus video that I never made. I'm surprised about that when I went back and tried to look at it. John says, yay, shout out to me. John, dude, you're a freaking supporter. Of course, when you ask for a video, I'm going to make it.
I like my Bortus, but it's nothing compared to the Sally.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great little base cracker, but then again, so is the Sally because that stupid gun.
Well, and it's a lot cheaper to repair when you get multiple hits.
Epic says there are never dumb questions. I mean, there are purposely stupid questions, but there's never dumb questions. There's a difference. I mean, anybody that's trying to gain knowledge, that's not stupid at all, no matter what it is. No. Now, if you're purposely just be like, oh, I'm going to ask this over here, and it's just like really stupid, yeah, sure. But Chris Gear says I just got my Sally to tier 4. Chris, congratulations. Tier 4. I remember my first beer. And it's really nice. Yeah. References. Making references. Yeah, I'm happy to, John. Just the thing I got to say is because I have so much going on, just don't let me forget. I make promises, and sometimes that promise takes 3 weeks to happen because I forget about it. Just like bug me and say, hey, you promised to make this video. I'll be like, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Today for the military supremacy, I made my Sally tier 9.
Ooh, nice. Very nice. That means that
Thomas,
that big weapon.
You're watching the market.
John says, I will never, ever let you forget. And yes, Thomas, you are. Yeah. So Plex went and plateaued on me. So tonight I'm going to see if it goes back over 500. Yeah, it did that to me
too.
We'll have to see if it stays there, but it looks like it's hovering.
It touched 100 and then dropped to 94.
Hey, CJ, what's up, buddy?
115. That was the cap I saw the Plex at.
Yeah, I wish I would have caught it then because I would have started selling. But Because now I'm broke and the corp is broke. So it'd be nice to get some of that and put it back in.
Just gotta run a few missions tonight.
Speaking of which, congratulations on officially starting the
Yeah,
alliance.
the corporation. Hey, Timo, how you doing? The corporation Eve Echoes is now part of an alliance in Eve Echoes. So pretty excited about that.
The Outer Rim Pirates.
Yep, we're going to go out and do rim jobs and get all the booty. It's going to be good stuff. That is going to be our recruitment slogan. I'm going to make a whole one for Eve. But anyway, back to Star Trek. I am grinding out a cow right now. I've not done my cow yet for the day. So it's time to grind some cow.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, Burn. Evil Echoes. Evil Echoes. Who's that?
Evil
Decix
Echoes.
snuck in. Decix is, I'm going to have to do an interview with him. It's almost been a year since we did the last one. Isn't it, Decix, or has it been more than a year?
It's when Franklin came out.
Then it's definitely been more than a year. Those that don't know, Decix, who you're hearing in voice chat, is a free-to-play player. Technically not, because his wife did buy him a $20 pack, which I don't think
It
he
wasn't actually with money. It was a Apple gift card that had been laid around the house.
That's
for
money.
years.
It's money. Okay, but anyway, the point is, $20 is not good enough to really do anything in the game, and y'all all know that. He is a level 39 going to 40, if I remember right. Free-to-play.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
With an Enterprise and an ISS Jelly. So everybody's going to want to have that. Everybody's going to want to know how the heck that happened. And as I made his significant other chuckle, it's because his life is Star Trek Fleet Command. The IT business has been put to the side, right? It's just Star Trek Fleet Command now?
No, he works.
He works.
Yeah, I work.
He works on the game
Yeah.
while at work. I know what he does.
Yeah.
Well, considering I work for myself, then
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
know.
got a boss shouting at me, I suppose.
He has a lot of Windows installs to do. Sometimes he needs customers to reinstall the Windows. It's corrupted, he says. He says.
Hey, Dark Trooper, how you doing? David, hope you are doing well as well. Somebody else had a chat that they said they had a question. Never dropped it. Jody says, how do you feel about the $99 crystal pack and the gas? Are you talking about the Prime one? Or are you talking about the Prime crystal pack?
That's a good one if it's the
I'm
Prime.
gonna pull up my pack choices. Man, I've got all the blueprints
What I
up
did
right now.
discover, a couple of days ago is that you can actually get those just about the right amount of the uncommon 4-star crystal and gas and stuff from doing the missions in dark space. You don't actually have to buy them.
Or you just do the Mayflower. You just max the Mayflower and then
Well,
scrap
yeah.
it.
Well, I mean,
Well, that's still
maxing
reasonable.
the Mayflower and a D3 is actually pretty easy up in the 30s because you don't realize how, like, it feels expensive for all the players that are down at 26. Like, how could I ever afford to max this stupid thing? And then you're up here going like, man, I miss the days of maxing a Mayflower where it costs like 2,000 uncommon gas. It's not 2,000, but it's pretty daggum low.
It's the rares.
So what I think about, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion, Jody. Hey, Craig, how you doing? I am not a fan of buying the Prime Gas, Prime Crystal, Prime Ore. We've done a lot of research into it. I know DJ's had people do it. I've had multiple of my followers who did tracking for 30 and 60-day periods. Yes, it does improve your draw a little bit. But because they manipulate the refinery rate so much in the background, you're not getting that much of an increase. It comes down to how much is $100 worth to you. How much uncommon is $100 worth? So if we go by, because you're obviously with the 4-star, and then you get 200 crystal for $100. If you compare that to another $100 pack, which is, we just got to compare apples to apples. Like if we went to the ship power pack, $100 gets you 455 uncommon there. It would take you about a month to then get the difference between the ship power pack uncommon and the uncommon in the pack. So after that, you're kind of making a profit on uncommon. But to wait a month to get a profit on a pack, it's really tough for me to go and say, yeah, buy that pack. I mean, a month before you really make up the difference. I mean, in the long scheme of things, yes, it's definitely going to help out and give you more. But is it worth $100? Once again, I return to the idea of maxing out a Mayflower and D3 and then using those materials to then go get it for free. Just grind it out. That's what I would do. Then again, I'm extremely frugal, and there are people who spend $1 million on this game. So who am I to say? But I wouldn't do it. hopefully that answers your question, Jody. If not, if you need more detail, we can do it. Epic says, I'm a new 35, already starting my jelly plan. That is what I have been doing as well. I am 20 BPs away from my jelly. Because they seem to have spread out the jelly event so daggone much, though, more and more people are trying for it, so it's harder. I think I scored 2 million points and came in 15th last time. So right now I'm just going to have to rely on I'm probably going to have to rely on Armadas to get it, to be honest.
I think it's also very server dependent.
For sure, because there's some servers who will spend 30 million points to win that event. And I'm not doing that ever. Then there are other servers who it's like 2 million would have got me 5th place. Like I've gotten 5th place on my server, which this is another big thing, by the way, where not every server has as many spots that pay out. My server has 5 spots that pay out when we run this event, and 2 of them get a jelly. Some servers only have 2 people who even win, and only 1 gets a jelly. That's neither here nor there, I guess, though. But for me, that 5 million points has actually won me jelly blueprints before, and now it wouldn't even score because of how long they're taking to run the event again. What else we got? Lightside user says, I'm level 23. I'm wondering if I should skip the D3 and save for the Bortus. You know, that I would say that right now. If you're going to build the D3, as silly as it sounds, it's actually better to just build the D3 when you're in the mid to high 30s. Because then you're just going to scrap it. It's basically only good for scrapping later on. And I hate to say that. Y'all know how I love the Klingons. But man, they did a real disservice to them in this game. Really did. And by the way, Poseidon, my server 43 account is level 25. We will see it tonight. My Vidar has finished building, and we're going to take the Vidar out of the space dock tonight on server 43. Pretty exciting stuff. Like, you might want to batten down the hatches and get some paper towels because it's going to get wet. So keep bringing questions. And no one, I'm surprised you don't have more commentary. You're usually more talkative.
Oh, sorry. I'm collecting stuff.
Oh, okay.
I just got a new toy. I'm happy.
Does it vibrate like the one you linked the other day?
I don't know. It kind of looks like one, though. I had to one-up Deuce today.
One-up? That's never happened before. I will say, though, it's just a quick Eve point. It's crazy re-going through the grind of making of a base and everything, because I'm used to a certain set of like numbers and everything for my videos, and it's much smaller with Eve Echoes.
You have to rebuild everything back up.
And I'm not complaining. It's good to have a couple of games that I enjoy now, but I think the video I put out today in 12 hours, I've got 733 views. Normally that's like 2,000 or 3,000 by now.
It was a good video.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I of course loved it. James says, don't forget the lotion. Oh, Boss says, can you get an ISS jellyfish for free? Well, lucky for you, there's somebody in this chat who has. Dekix.
So yes.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Actually,
Dekix doesn't want to give us secrets.
Dekix is going to have a full interview with me to do it. I mean, he's going to say, hey,
it's a lot of planning.
Here's how I plan 2 years of my life around Star Trek Fleet Command. And we actually might turn it into one of those like ebooks for Amazon. It's a great story. Honestly, Scopely should be the one sitting Dekix down for an interview. Like, was it worth all the time you spent to grind and plan? Or would you rather just spend the money?
Now are you planning?
It would have been a lot of money.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of money, for sure. Yeah. Even at 2 years, to be level 40 now would still have costed 5 digits. Cost 5 digits. Oof.
The going from 36 to 39 within the 2 days or whatever that I did it cost 19 billion in pass seal. Yeah. All raided from people over a long period of time.
Got another question here I want to answer is from Gregory says, can you mention to the SF gods that some of us level 31s want another chance at the original jelly? Well, we did complain about that, and they have started putting the pack back in when they run the PvP event. I think that's the best you're going to get, my friend. So if you're a ship collector, you might as just hit the reset button, come join me on server 43. How about that? This whole idea of getting what you want, you're... No. Joe says, would you skip the 32 tier ships to rush to Ops 34? Oh, man. I always answer this question the exact same way. How much time is it going to take you to get to 34? Because it's a very expensive jump from 32 to 34. And if you're not wanting to dump some money into it, it will take you several months. It's going to take you several months, then get you one of the 32s. If you plan on making that progress happen quickly, like you've saved up for it, and you've got several billion bar steel, you've got a bunch of uncommons saved up for the building costs and everything, then I would skip to 34, because the Enterprise and the Augur, or even the D4, are going to greatly surpass any ship you have. But people underestimate the cost of getting to 34. It's extremely expensive.
And the ships cost 186,000.
Yeah, 180,000 faction credits. That's a lot of faction credits.
As someone who, for fun, just decided to get all the 32s, each level 32 ship is 2/3 of the faction credit cost of a 34.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind, and then also keep in mind that if you get a Brel, or if you're planning on getting an Enterprise, first buying an Intrepid will take 2/3 of your faction credits for the Enterprise. As if you get a Brel also, it's going to start eating away at your gas for your Enterprise.
Yep. And
when you get to
you need 50,000 gas, by the way, on your
4 to 5. Yeah. Going from tier 4 to tier 5 takes about just under 11,000 gas, and that's what you'll spend on your Brel to get it to about tier 6. So at this point, with all the 30, having all 336s, if I could take any one thing back that I've done in the game, it would be getting those 3 ships.
Yeah,
because of the
cost you put into them.
I would probably be able to jump 2 tiers if I had my gas in the Brel right now, because the gas cost goes down from 5 to 6. The amount of uncommons you need per tier goes down. The Enterprise. Whoa! Hey, that's a spin.
Here's a nasty surprise for any free to play that does get to 39. Dry Dock E costs 3,000 2-star crystal uncommon.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Out of nowhere, like from the top ropes. Bring it back.
Yeah, and it's fine if you've been buying packs and you've got loads of 2-star that you've been complaining, why do I keep getting this 2-star? But I had 9 uncommon 2-star. Yeah.
The Papa,
so that's 2 months.
The Papa says, piggybacking on the 32-34 conversation, can a Sally get you to 34 without a 32 ship? Yes, it can. It is a little bit more difficult, only from the hostile grinding aspect. Because remember, you're still going to need to grind out swarms, assuming that you're wanting to get free titanium and con charge, which you should be. You're still going to need to grow in terms of your daily requirements. Sally can certainly do that, and the Sally remains an effective base cracker to even the day. Whales in the 40s use the Sally just to get 1 round pounds in base hits. It is difficult, though. I'm not going to tell you it's not difficult. It's very doable, but it's difficult.
Caveat on that. Sally cannot hit a 49 base. It won't get its shot off, even with the con crew.
Yeah, it won't.
Enterprises do, though.
The Sally versus the level 32 ships in against hostiles. I get better results with my max Sally than I do with my tier 7 Intrepid.
Now, you should get better results from, it depends on what you're farming, I guess, but like the Gladdy, because of its officer, not officer ability, its ship ability can actually be a very, very, very good hostile farmer. But still, you got to think cost then. Remember the video I just had about faction miners, and everybody's like, how dare you put down faction miners because of warp range? I'm like, the warp range really isn't that important for a couple reasons. One, if you get into deep space, if you get into the hub, you can actually warp with the horizon to any of the systems. So it's not a big deal. You don't need the warp range 26. If you're in the hub.
In the hub, it's 26 range.
Yeah, 20, which you could do with a horizon. And
what do you call it? Envoy.
Yeah, you can do it with envoys if you want to. If you want to just mine in dark space. But another thing is the uncommon requirement jumped so quickly after 28. Like, I remember maxing out my salad and it taking almost a year and thinking how expensive it was, even with Scopely Welfare. And then now looking back at ships I have now going, dude, I could have made several Saladins for what I've spent in Crystal like D4 and Gladdy. So Chris says the hub. Ooh, we get to do an edification moment. Okay, so let's hit our wrong button. Man, I'm forgetting where things are in this game. So if you hit your Galaxy button, a hub system is one that branches. So for example, I'm just going to show you a regular hub, not a deep space hub. But look at AT right here in Fed space. So this is the start of a hub. A hub is a branch system where everything around it is where you can relocate to. So like Dolaran, Anari, Barclay, Sinisar, Sakuk, Asher. This is a hub system. So in dark space, you simply need to be in the hub and you can warp to any of the branches. You don't have to have a faction. Now you got to have a faction miner to get there. But once you've relocated there, which you can do with a Burrell or Enterprise or whatever, you can then just relocate to the system and then use whatever ship you have. The drawback to dark space and deep space is like the need for tons of relocation tokens to consistently get anywhere, which is a pain point for a lot of people without spending stupid money for no reason. But yeah, you can head up there and have some fun. By the way, I saw some crew questions about fighting with Augurs versus Enterprise, and we'll answer that in a second. But the short answer is Yuki, Marcus, Nero. And we can explain why in a bit. You can change out, by the way, the Yuki. If it's a high-level Enterprise, the goal of running Yuki and Marcus, you're going to get some shield strip, but the Marcus is, assuming you've got a max Marcus, his shield piercing now works, which changes the mitigation layer, so that shield that the Enterprise never loses is not as important. You can also run Kirk, Marcus, Nero. Or I'm sorry, Khan, Marcus, Nero. Depends on what you want to do. But Enterprises are no longer impenetrable. They're just still stupid good. Chris wants to know, where is dark and deep space? Well, it's out deep in the dark.
Very deep. Very dark.
So basically just go to your map. I don't know who that is. And zoom out and go to the far like northeast. Oh, what's my zoom buttons in here? I don't remember. Here's my zoom.
Control mouse wheel.
I change it all. So deep space, like here's the normal space you're used to, and just kind of see where it kind of like widens out and gets stupid way out here. That's out in the deeps. Da says Yuki, Marcus, and Nero are the best crew for mission hostiles. It's a really, really good crew versus hostiles that are explorers, for sure. For sure. The Yuki shield stripping is a great PvP no matter what. The Nero is only particular to the Augur because of the Obliterator weapon. I mean, if you were running against a hostile and say a Saladin, I would do like Yuki, Marcus, and then Khan or Gorkon or something before I'd run Nero. Nero is only specific to the Augur because that was an Augur question. Epic says, say that again. Say what again? I just said many things. By the way, we got 179 people watching. If y'all want to help out the channel real quick, smash the like button. It actually does help. Believe it or not, it helps. Smash the like button. Think about hitting the join button so that you can have all this information at your fingertips, as well as get access to the behind-the-scenes stuff, like the time that we made fun of No One Shall at 2 a.m. in Eve Echoes. You can only get access to that in the Discord. As well as I've got a video coming out about a blooper reel, essentially, of some of the funniest and dumbest moments from the past year for me. So like behind the scenes cuts of me doing really bad at making videos and funny drunk moments from the Twitch stream. That video is going to be available to only people who are members of the channel. So if you want to help out, hit that join button. Appreciate everybody who hit that like button, or you can do PayPal, Venmo, or whatever. We appreciate it. Eric says, I'm out for a bit. Eric, you can't leave after saying, hey, say that again. You must stay forever. Stay forever.
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 Ever and ever.
Forever and ever and ever. All right. Thank everybody for hitting the like button. We went from like 16 likes to 47. So at least some of you listen. We appreciate that some of you listen. Victor says, easy question. Is Cadet Scotty the only officer that extends warp range? Yes. And follow-up question for the people who are going to ask. No, Pike does not work with it. And no, it's not supposed to work with it. And no, it never will. You're welcome. Craig says, I was there for your drunk stripper show. Yes, Craig, you've been around for many things. Craig, you have...
Many things.
Ooh, Nate
Witnessed a lot.
Here's one. Nate says, is Pike basically useless for PvE if you don't have Moreau? No, not at all, actually. So the only reason the Pike Moreau is good is because of the synergy bonus. Now, the synergy bonus is huge, but Pike is still useful without that synergy. Not as useful, obviously, but is useful. T-Slow says, where's the like button? So if you look under the video, there should be like a little thumbs up. Hit that button. And then there's one that says join. And what that join button does is it pays for my McDonald's for my kids. Hit that one too. By the way, here's a photo I got to share with y'all on the Discord. The baby had her first real food today, and y'all provided it, so that's appreciated. Like real, like pureed food. Not like she didn't have a chicken wing. No, there was no chicken nuggies or anything, but she had real food. Hey Grant, how you doing? Fernando says, how about a crew setup for Enterprise against Augers? That's super easy. It's really easy to beat Augers. So Yuki is captain. And then you want Kirk. And then you can do Khan or Decius. Doesn't matter. And that will obliterate. If you have a good Zhao, use Zhao. But Yuki is captain. Kirk, Zhao, Khan, Decius. And you should obliterate Augers like nobody's business. Nate says, follow-up. Is it better than Cadet Uhura, Chen, and Cadet McCoy? It has been a long time since I tested that. We would need to retest it and find out. Maybe we could do that tonight. We could do it by short burst test and doing how much hull damage is taken when we get certain hostiles. VA Snipe says, Yuki Char Kirk or Yuki Zhao Kirk. Char is a good one to throw in there, and I wasn't trying to purposely omit it, but I feel like it's hard for me to mention Char and Marcus because until they hit 800% in their officer bonus, they're really not that good. They hit 800% and then it's a huge, nice change in the mitigation. But until 800%, they're really not worth using. So just kind of clarifying what BH Snipes is saying. He's definitely speaking the truth on an anti-auger loadout, but you definitely need it to be leveled. Just kind of like Zhao. Like Zhao's not useful till tier 4. Sean says, hello, Mr. Deuce. Oh, you called me Mr. You respect me? I respect you too, Sean. Love you. I'm trying to figure out what is the best officer combo for grinding hostiles with a tier 8 North Star. Easy answer. There's only 2 answers. Either Cadet Uhura, Cadet McCoy, and then Chen, assuming you're hitting explorers or battleships, or Pike, Moreau, Chen. One of those 2. Depends on what officers you got. Have at it. Funny Shark says anti-D4. To beat a D4, just take any ship out into space. Doesn't even need officers. D4 can actually put in some firepower. It's not great, but it's good. It can win. The easiest way is to fight it how you would any normal interceptor. Keep your mitigation high, and the anti-faction officers work great. So, well, the one anti-faction officer for Klingon. Ooh, Joseph says, is Talon still better than Chen for fewer round battles, or should I have been chinning the whole time? That is a very specific question to like Borg probes. And it depends on which one you're fighting. Like 29's, Talon is still king. 28's, Chen is king, or I guess queen. It depends on what you're trying to fight. That's a very specific one. Rebecca says, North Star or Independent Officer Pack? Independent Officer Pack? Rebecca, can you send me what that looks like in Discord? I'll drop you my Discord link real quick.
I think she's talking about the $100 independent credit pack.
I want to make sure though. Anytime it comes to somebody's money, I want to make sure I give them the right answer. So I'm gonna drop the Discord link, and Miss Rebecca, if you could just put it in there, and then I will jump in. Slide in my DMs, I don't know what that was, but it happened, and y'all were all here to witness it. Enjoy. Let's see what else we got. More question. Alex says, skipping the Kumar to get Legionary if I have a 350k Vocalist, is it a good idea? Yes and no. it is not a bad idea. It's not necessarily good either. The Kumari is a great ship. The Legionary is better. In fact, the Legionary Max has a higher hull rating than the Bortus. It is a stupid high hull amount. It just doesn't have a lot of DPR. The Legionary, as I talked about in the video a few weeks ago, is one of the few exceptions to the skipping the rule because you actually don't need that ore for much. The ore that it sucks up, you don't really need until the Auger. I mean, if you're getting the Legionary, you're not going to get the Bortus. You only need a little bit of ore to build research and then a couple of building upgrades for your ops level. And not a lot of researches take ore. So it's kind of okay to build a Legionary and skip the Kumari, but that's a very specific instance. Rebecca says, what about server 13? I'm not sure what your server looks like specifically. If it's let me do this. Let me just pull up my packs and you tell me if this is the one you're talking about. Because DeckX mentioned the independent credit pack.
No, I didn't.
You mentioned the independent recruit when she asked the question. Was it you or somebody else?
It was me. With Shinjo.
Like DeckX, like, don't you dare give me credit. I didn't help you, jerk.
That was something that relates to money spending.
Yeah, for real. DeckX is not the one to ask. So is it this one, Miss Rebecca, that you're asking about, or is it another independent officer pack? She says that one. Okay, so for $100, you get 5,400 independent credits, and well, this is what I get at level 37. And 3 science badges. You are probably lower. I'm gonna be honest. Now that they've added more ways to get independent credits, I wouldn't. That's me. Keep in mind that I've gotten really, because if you're buying a North Star, I'm assuming you're around like 18 to 20. So you're going to get offered a lot less than what I'm going to get offered in terms of independent credits for $100. A lot less. I mean, you're probably going to get a third of what I'm getting offered right here. With that in mind, the North Star is a ship that will be good from about level 18 to literally forever. We actually ran some more tests. The North Star will outmine a faction miner even at max with a max health crew. So in terms of mining speed, even though it has a small cargo, for active mining, the North Star is still the best 3-star miner in the game. And it's a great base cracker early on. So if you're level 20, which you just said you are, 100% North Star is the way to go, not the independent recruit pack. Lee says our server merger was a shamble. We didn't even get the silly avatars the right way around for winning. I am shocked. Appalled. I'm really struggling to believe what you're telling me is true. Here's a question for DeckX. Andrew says, if you don't raid station, does the game eventually become impossible to progress?
I do raid stations all the time.
I mean, I'd say the answer to that is a very firm yes. I mean, when you start needing billions of tritanium and billions of par steel, there is not an easy or even a legitimate way to get that amount in game. If you are somebody who doesn't want to base raid, you're going to get stuck at probably level 28 and never really get past that for a long time. David says $100 a month is a month of baby food. 100%. Which, Miss Rebecca, if you'd like to contribute to the baby fund, you can do that. We got a cute little baby. I'll bring it on screen just to build sympathy if you'd like. She's gorgeous. Yep. And yeah. Craig says I need 5 billion just to go to 40. That's actually for only a couple billion. 5 billion is a low amount, Craig. You need more than that.
That's just
maybe what he has left.
Yeah. Andrew says, so I should quit now then. Done 4 raids, find them really tedious. Well, at level 27, do you have the Horizon out? Because if you're raiding with an envoy, it is extremely tedious and annoying. When you're able to start pulling over 1 million per load, it's not that tedious. Just saying. It's not that tedious when you're like my Cavort at level 37. I'm bringing in over 2.5 million, I think, per hit. That's not tedious. So it's all about leveling the Horizon. If your Horizon's still only getting you a couple 100K, it just feels like it's a waste of time. But once you get leveled up, It helps. Says for you, it takes so much time to actually find a station worth raiding. Okay, so that's a different problem entirely. You just might have a server where everybody knows how to shield or share, and they choose shielding. See, more questions. I love Q&A nights because people bring like some great questions in. By the way, if you're supporting the channel, if you like the channel, if you're getting your question answered, why don't you think about hitting that join button or support my PayPal or Venmo? Sean says, I was trying Yuki out on the North Star's captain against Explorer hostiles and using Decius and Az. Do these officer abilities properly function? Yes, all three of those do. The thing that you need to remember about the North Star is it has one energy weapon. So Decius, even a max Decius, is only going to give you a 10% increase to that one weapon. You're not seeing the biggest increase there, and Az works, but if you're putting all three of those together, that's a silly combo. Get rid of that trifecta. Kick Az back in below decks and get somebody better. Like a common loadout is a morale mix, so like Kirk, Spock, and then Decius, like on a North Star for PvP or hostiles. Very common. Grudging Sue says, I'm 28 with 1 billion par still. How far will that get me? That will get you to 32-ish. 31-ish. Somebody correct me on that one, but I think 31, 32?
Sounds about right.
Not far, if that's what you're looking for.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I think that's where it'll get you. And hey, Maxie, sneaking in the back end there. So the jump...
You out there?
I will pull up LCARs for you real quick. The jump in terms of par still really hits at 32. Let me pull up my content creators terminal and let's see. Let's look up, because the bit where it really starts hitting you is these, your docks and your guns. So you see this dry dock cost me 289. Wait, so dry dock D 32. So dry dock D on a 32 will start costing you 50 million par steel each. So just in docks now you're looking at 200 million steel plus what it costs you to get your ops. So ops 31 is 50 million par steel. So it's going to be somewhere around 32 because all those start adding up. Today says, is a replay of this going to be available later? Yes, it actually is. It says I can't watch now due to the wife. Probably shouldn't have said that. Don't let her listen to this video. Yeah. Whew, whoopsies. Craig says, thanks for what you do for the community, Rev. I am so happy to provide for you. Thank you. And he says, shout out to your loyal crew. Yes, shout out to people like Maxie and Man of War and Gregor and Steven Aarons who moderate my channels and help with research. And shout out to all those people because this is really a no-lie full-time job. And also shout out to Chris Zink for no reason other than he has a green name. No one didn't get a shout out and he's sad. No one, to be fair, you don't do research with. Now in Eve Echoes, that's different. You do a lot more in Eve Echoes, but with me in Star Trek Fleet Command, you don't. No one says I help you a lot. How?
I figure it out later.
It's something for you. That might be
I mean, you definitely help at Eve Echoes, but I'm really like, wait, what do you do in Star Trek Fleet Command again? What do you do?
Now that you're not covered by NDA, Rev.
Yeah.
How would you like to discuss the idea of what the next possible arc could be? I know no one can't talk about this.
No.
I'm thinking Discovery.
You're thinking well, you've already gotten several Discovery hints in game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I've got 3 reasons I think that.
There was an image floating around.
No
Well,
one's
that
like
wasn't-
breathing heavy sighs right now. Oh, CJ says he'll just copy the video later. That's how he helps me.
Really? No copy his videos ever.
Oh god, you've done it before, but it's more like how are we not going to cover the same thing? But there was one where you kind of quoted me verbatim. It's been about a year though. We laughed about it.
A long time ago. Oh, dude, I have a horrible memory. I don't remember half the things anymore.
I know it's all the drugs and the edibles. Oh,
Hey, that was one time.
Sean says, what do you recommend having in the bank before making the jump from 14 to 15? John, there's a video on that actually, and the main thing about 14 to 15 is having all your ships maxed and having all your research maxed. It's not necessarily as much about having resources because everything is so daggum cheap down in the teens. It's more about having all your research and ships ready to go, because as soon as 15 hits, you want to be able to start base rating. And if you have like a Tala and a Tourist that are like tier 5, you're not going to be able to do it. You'll be terrible at it. Gino says, hey, Rev, thanks again for the help with the crew and ships. That's what I'm here for, Gino. Gino is actually somebody who messaged me privately. Also, I want to throw this out real quick. A lot of people hit me up on Discord, and I have no problem with it. But if you have hit me on Discord, you may or may not have noticed sometimes it either takes me a long time to message or you've gotten ghosted, and that's not intentional. What happens is I get hit so much on Discord because of all the different games I'm on. I don't see it as often, but what I do see a lot is Facebook. I know people still use Facebook. I have a Facebook page for the gaming channel where I actually check that and I get notifications directly to my phone. Discord is turned off. Discord does not go to my phone. I do not. Y'all do not realize how many people message me on freaking Discord and tag the stupidest stuff. Like, they'll be like, hey, everyone, I'm quitting the game. No one cares. Stop tagging everybody. So Discord does not go to my phone, but Facebook does. So if you have a question about the game, hit up the Facebook link. Craig says I never get ghosted. Craig, I really try not to ghost you, but there have been days where like it took me 3 or 4 days to get back to you. So if you do have questions for like when we're not live, yeah, just throw it in there. Joseph says better time sync, Eve Echoes or a second Star Trek Fleet Command. Definitely Eve Echoes.
Eve Echoes.
And I'm not saying that in like a biased trying to promote Eve Echoes over Star Trek Fleet Command. It is truly a great and enjoyable game. Dekix, be nice. I can't leave Star Trek. Oh, Burn, be nice. Okay, we all sound the same today, apparently.
This is Dekix this time, and I do have an Eve Echoes account.
I figured you would. Which, actually, as a hardcore free-to-play grinder, you're going to be much better in Eve Echoes than you are even in Star Trek Fleet Command.
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
It's not a good start.
You'll be better. Let's see.
The skills that I just can't train because I haven't got the...
Okay, well, if you don't have Omega yet, you have been playing the market. I have already bought enough Plex to have like over a year's worth of Omega. The key is just go out and buy Plex. So just grind, go buy Plex, and then there are people who free to play had enough Plex to get Omega in like the first 2 days. It's definitely doable. Frederick says, Rev, can you compare and contrast Eve Echoes with Star Trek Fleet Command? Oh, gosh. You know what? I'm going to hold that one because let me get through some more Star Trek Fleet Command questions, Frederick. Hold that. We'll do that a little bit later in the stream. But we will answer. I've done it before, but I'll do it again because I live to serve. I do. Let's see what else we got here. I'm going to scroll up a little bit, make sure I haven't missed anything. Sean says, last question I have, or what you got, Byrne or Thomas or whoever the hell it is talking.
That was Shinjo.
Dang it!
You know one?
Can't get it right.
Some of the people in Eve are asking for you to join their fleet.
Noah's like, I'm not used to being requested. What is this?
Wait, I'm being requested?
Yeah, you're being requested.
You are being requested by
let me finish this event up or this encounter up, and I'll be able to help.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so Sean says, last question I have for you. Should I use Bones as captain with Spock and Kirk as officers as opposed to Kirk as captain? Only if you have the crew with Bones and Spock maxed. The reason being, and I put this out as a video, I do encourage you to go watch the video. When both of those are maxed with Bones as captain, Spock's regenerative ability becomes 1,000%, a little bit greater than 1,000 actually. Before that, no, it's not worth it. Keep Kirk as captain. Once you get to the max level, you switch Bones, and it's a game changer in terms of shield regen. It's not Enterprise level regen, but it's really freaking good. 1,000% of anything is a lot. Like 1,000 monkeys is a lot of monkeys. It's kind of like that thing. Remember that meme that went around on Facebook? Like, what would you rather fight? 2 horses, 1 bear, or 10,000 rats? The answer is definitely not 10,000 rats. Thousands of anything is hard.
I'm not going to say
it. Yeah, not on this stream. You wait for Twitch, Dekix. Wait for Twitch.
That wasn't me.
Oh, hey, we got a no one shout out. Okay, Burn. Whoever, y'all sound alike to me tonight. I don't know.
Wait, someone shout out to me?
Yeah, no one's gonna love this shout out. Today is a good day to die says, as another server 18 player, I can confirm no one is good for whining.
Yep. Salty little bugger.
Oh,
He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to get past level 20.
Wow, level 20? He's a forever 18 or something?
Basically.
I mean, it is a way to play, but it's not a fun way to play for me. All right, more questions.
So, random point about the language thing. It occurred to me that there are people like, or YouTube channels like Angry Video Game Nerd. They're rather colorful in their language.
Salty.
So,
the bigger you get, the more you can toe the line.
fair enough.
Because the bigger you get, the more money you're making for the overlords.
Well, and he's also had his channel for 14 or 15 years for that. So.
And look at Dr.
More involving the
Disrespect.
cinematic.
Like Dr. Disrespect coming to YouTube. That dude is crazy. But that's his brand. It's also weird that he's like a 6'8" gamer. It's like, shouldn't you be playing basketball or something?
Bad knees, maybe.
Ooh, Advark with a math question. I like Advark. Advark says, can you
Advark.
explain the difference between crit damage and non-crit damage? 100% that I can. So, do you remember, how will I break this down? Let's pull up a battle log. Do you remember the video I made a couple weeks ago, just where I was showing battle logs and I was showing the officer bonus video? You remember that one? Where I showed how the officer 300 attack bonus works? So what you have is you start with a base number of 1. You start with your base attack, which is based on your weapon's minimum and maximum damage, each specific one. And then from that, you have additional bonuses that apply. So every research you've done applies. Your ops level applies, which for me is like a 37% bonus to weapons damage. Then you have different researches. So like for me, I had over 300% in researches and ship ability, plus 300% in officer ability that added to my base damage. So what you have with the critical is it is another additive to that formula. So if you've got, say, 450% of bonuses between researchers and officers, then the critical bonus is, depending on your research and ship, for me, I think it's 185% on top of that, if that makes sense. Was that explained easy enough? If not, we can pull out the full calculator and go 100% nerd status.
Nerd.
Where's my pocket protector? Where's my pocket protector? Okay. Happy to help out, Aardvark. Dark Trooper says, what happened between yourself and Scopely? Really simple. I spoke out. I said things they didn't agree with. Simple as that. Like my pack video, for some reason, they did not appreciate me providing my opinion on different servers getting different offers in terms of packs, in terms of value for the same level. They didn't appreciate that. There are some gaming companies who actually welcome that form of criticism. In fact, Eve Echoes had a content creator named Sovereign, who's a really good guy, literally put out a profanity-laden rant about things that need to be fixed in Eve Echoes. And what did Eve Echoes do?
I was so shocked.
They literally promoted the video. They put it on all their official content channels and went, hey, here's some great points about things we need to fix. So some gaming companies welcome criticism. Some gaming companies spur you for it. That's what happened. Just got spurred for it. Still not leaving the game. Still love the game. Still work with Scopely in several different capacities, including helping them with customer support and anytime there's issues for players that need immediate attention. I help them with that. But in terms of being an official CC, you'll no longer see my link in game. It's no big deal. Still happy to help out. Next question. Joe Bombay. Rev 1232 and I just hit Federation Celebrated. I can't mine 4-star gas. What should I do? Well, you can't mine 4-star gas until level technically 39, 40. But you can't refine it till the 40s. So
yeah, he should just start trying to defeat it and go backwards.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to get 4-star, the only way to do that for you is to get to level 34 and scrap a max 38. D3 and a max Mayflower.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see more questions. By the way, I see a couple people repeating questions. That's no big deal. I will get to them. James says, how do you grind Plex and Eve Echoes? What you do is you grind out ISK, You can do it through ratting, through PvP, which is what my corporation does, and then you go buy it on the market. And we can have an in-depth way of doing that on another live stream, another video. Maybe we'll cover it in Twitch tonight when we switch over to Twitch and do some Echo streaming a little bit later. But yeah, it's definitely doable. Money says, Rev, is there a free-to-play way to get the Vidar? Only through events. So if you go to your event store right now, it should still be up, right? It hasn't gone down yet?
2 days.
Okay, so we got 2 days left. So if you look in event stores, that is currently the only way to get the Vidar. And here it is. Until we have another Borg event come through, this is the only way to do it. Now, I will say in terms of pricing, it's really not that bad in terms of how much it costs Heist Loot to get the blueprints, but that's the only free-to-play way to get it right now. John says, Deuce, you're a gentleman and a scholar. Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words, my friend. How dare you be so kind? It's actually offensive. Did you just assume my kindness? I don't know what I'm saying right now. Ooh, more questions. Battle Pass question from somebody. This is going to be fun to answer. It is from Nate. Nate says, the last Battle Pass was fairly boring. The same inconsequential events week to week that don't create any in-alliance or alliance versus alliance battles for meaningful prizes. Is this expected to change to any degree?
No.
Copy pasta.
Yeah, the next one will be another Armada event.
Here's the thing, look. I do appreciate some of the new stuff, but a lot of it is copy pasta. And that's annoying because there's potential for so much more. But there are some brand new events, like never before done, coming. I know no one's not going to speak on that. But there are some new things coming. Obviously, can't tell you what those are. Anything I learned during my period is still covered. But I can tell you that there's new events coming. Just like there's new officers and new ships coming. But you knew the latter 2 points. I can't tell you those events are going to be any better because every time we've hyped up a new event, it's been pretty much a bummer. So
I'm still excited they're adding new officers though, and new ships and new technology.
But how long is it going to take to get those?
Oh, I couldn't tell you if I knew.
1 every 3 months.
Nate says got a genuine belly laugh to that response. I aim to please. They say a way to a man's heart is through his stomach, but that might be a lie. Might be a lie. Dark Trooper says, do you know what's coming soon in the refinery tab? You mean the one that changes titles all the time? It's actually not one in the refinery tab. Do you mean the gift tab?
No, there was one in the refinery tab. I must have pulled it.
Yeah. That is where they usually put it, but it changes all the time. Like, it's there all the time, guys.
No. It was, it was in that tab you're in right now.
Yeah, it was in the gift tab. I don't have an extra tab in the refinery.
I was one, and then changed it.
No, I see it right now. If I click refinery, I see they're coming soon.
Well, I don't. I guess I'm not important enough.
You have the both.
To be honest, I don't know if I've updated my client, so... Daniel says, what would you choose after the Enterprise? ISS Jelly. Unless you're asking
you want to
what other ship, like 3-star, then it'd be the Augur. James says, Hijack Legion options. You need to better... what's the question? It's more like a incomplete statement.
It can't be scrapped, so don't.
I mean, it's good if you're a ship collector. Like, I like having them. But because you can't scrap it, it is a waste of resources. It's 100% a waste. But it's a beautiful waste. It's kind of like, here's the thing. Like, let's say you meet a just gorgeous man or woman or whatever in your life. But their life is a tragic mess. You know the long-term feasibility is simply not there. But they're super hot. That's kind of what the Hijack Legionary is. It's going to wreck your life, and it's going to be a waste of your time, but you're probably going to enjoy it because it's really hot. So, it's not a long-term viable option.
It's like the new avatars that you buy with epic credits in the Alliance tab. It's like, I ain't buying those.
not going to do that.
Yeah. Although the Starbase one looks rather nice.
D. Stevens said, would you prefer to have a penny that doubles every day for 31 days or 500,000 immediately? I really want to do the math
Penny?
on what that is.
A penny.
Penny that doubles every day, though, for 31 days. It's not very long. I feel like the penny is the right answer, but I'm going to go with the safe money. Give me 500 grand right now. No tax. Under the table. And then I'll just invest it.
Corporate tax.
I don't feel like doing the math. I do too much math in Star Trek Fleet Command and Eve Echoes. I'm not doing it for money. James says penny is the right answer. You know what? I believe it is. How about y'all help me with investments? I'm a small time YouTuber. Do you think that I am good at this? No. You need to help me. Help me with my taxes. Help me with my life. Jerks. 2 to the 31st power. Yeah, that sounds right, Daryl. I didn't want to do the math, to be honest with you. It's not something I can plug in easily to my calculator. Greg says the penny would be impossible to convert. Take the cash. Ooh, good point, Greg. 31 days. Coinstar taking like 17%.
10%.
Yeah. Think about the number of pennies you would have. That's a good point.
If they're copper pennies, then they're worth even more.
Ooh. Good points. Good points. Jason says, I am dual faction, Federation, and Klingon. Level 31. I have a Saladin. My plan is to get the Burrell at 32, then the Big E. Sound like a good plan? Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
It is a good plan. Just be aware that in terms of if you wanted to max both your Burrell and your Enterprise, you're going to need around 80,000 uncommon gas. Not even content creators have that much. So
No.
it comes down to how long you want to play the game and how much you really want to invest in that Burrell. The Burrell's going to be really good. Don't get me wrong. And the Burrell will fight off other Enterprises. But that's a lot of uncommon gas. A lot of uncommon gas. Like, that's a daunting amount of gas. Hey, Shifu. James says dropping pennies at a bill collector is epic. I will say, even though I am not the richest man, I've never had to deal with a bill collector, like a debt collector or anything. So that's good. I've never had to do the whole penny, go up to the bank and pay off my loan and $1 million in pennies. So I've never had to experience that. Knock on wood, hopefully nothing happens to where that is a thing. Because we do have a little bit of debt, but all of our debt is... like, we did get a new car finally, and we obviously had to finance it. But if push came to shove, we could pull everything out of savings and all that other stuff and pay it off. Like, if we just had some weird debt hit. But in general, we've managed to be okay, I guess. Greg says, as someone who works in a bank, you don't realize how heavy and how much space that many pennies takes up. Well, let me ask you, as man who works in bank, if somebody came in and tried to pay off a debt, and they said, look, I'll give you $5,000. The debt is $5,000. Said, I'll pay off the debt with $5,000 worth of pennies or $3,500 in $100 bills. What would the bank do? I'm curious. I know that's like the dumbest question you've probably ever heard, but you know what? That's the type of entertainment you get here. You get Star Trek Fleet Command math and then really stupid bank questions. James says, don't give the bank the option. Well, I mean, I'm asking a question. Christian says, hey, Rev, I'm trying to hit some yellow bosses around 2 million power with a 1.3 Sally and really struggling. I'm using Gorkon, Curl, and Khan. Any advice? Do you have Yuki? And if you're hitting you said Interceptor and Explorer. So if you're hitting the Explorer, you're going to have a really hard time with your Sally. But you could try Yuki, Marcus, depending on where your Marcus is at, and then Khan against the Explorer. Against the Interceptor, you can actually use a similar loadout. You're just going to use Yuki by herself, and then Gorkon Khan. Greg says we would decline the pennies. We have to confirm all the money we take in. It would cost the bank too much to count it. The bank... Okay, but let me ask you this. If push came to shove, in a court of law, if the man said we tried to pay off the debt and the bank refused us, does the bank have a legal argument, or would they be forced by law to take the pennies? Ooh, Michael Nelson with a question. When is the Star Trek Past, Present, and Future event starting? Well, I'll tell you this. If you think that all of that stuff is coming at one time, got another thing coming.
I feel like they could put a 3-month arc for each.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, if y'all don't think that they're not going to stretch the hell out of all these series, you cray-cray. So if you're looking forward to Jean-Luc Picard, I honestly would be surprised if he's the first one available. I will. I think they're going to make you wait. I think Discovery is probably going to get the first shot because we're already getting Discovery stuff.
And the next
Or I
season.
saw a graphic floating around about Discovery in October and Star Trek Fleet Command.
And Discovery is going to CBS. Season 1 is putting Discovery on CBS. So
Yes.
someone says, "What would you tell? What would tell you to use the Coinstar machine?" Oh, we would tell you to use the Coinstar machine. We pay the fee for you if you are a member, dude. But here's the thing. Back to my point. If you put $5,000 worth of pennies in the Coinstar machine, doesn't the Coinstar take like 15%? Is the bank willing to lose several $100s for me to use the Coinstar machine? Because I'll use it.
You'd be standing there for 3 days feeding change into the Coinstar.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I don't think somebody real quick. Actually, we can do this with a calculator. Time for the calculator. It's time for the calculator. All right, so let's do 100 pennies times 5,000. So 500,000 pennies. How much does a penny weigh? How much does a penny weigh? It weighs 2.5 grams. So times 2.5. That's 1.25 million, and then grams to pounds. I don't know that, and I'm not going to have Dex give it to me, that stupid British guy. That is
1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds.
good God. Okay, that is 2.7 thousand. That's well over a ton of pennies. Literally over a ton of pennies. How would you even carry that amount into the bank? That's more than a wheelbarrow, buddy. That's several truckloads of pennies. Yeah, you're gonna need an entire what a stupid rabbit trail we've gone on tonight, by the way. By far one of our funniest / dumbest moments of Star Trek Fleet Command streaming. But holy crap, 2.7 million. 2.7 thousand pounds, 2.7K. James says, I know a guy with a truck and a pallet jack. Woof. Abda says, do we have an option to save bridge officer setups? It's been in development for about a year. So given the current development rate of Scopely, expect it in about another year and a half. Fair? David says, if I turn up at Scopely in Spain with $100 in pennies, will they give me prime officers? Technically, the developers are in Dublin. If you turn up in Spain, you're going to talk to the community managers who are going to look at you like you're stupid. The community managers and some other departments over there, which I don't think I'm allowed to say what's in there. Y'all know the community managers are there. So I don't think they can really help you. But maybe if you went to Dublin and checked out, maybe went and visited Ramekin and visited the Dublin office, maybe. Grudging says, if I don't want to go Burrell because of gas, do I want to go Intrepid, or should I be locked by them? So the Intrepid is going to use a little bit of the resources you would need, but honestly, I would hold off on the Intrepid. It's a great grinder, but if you've already got a Bortus, you can grind just as much hostiles, almost just as much with the Bortus in terms of completing your dailies as you can the Intrepid. You won't notice really a drop off.
It'll also take your faction credits for the Enterprise.
Yeah. Remember, you need 180,000 faction credits to get the Enterprise up and going. David says Saladin's better than the Enterprise. David, if you could do me a favor, and if you could...
Enterprise.
No, I think he did a greater than sign, and I know math has been a while for me, but that's a greater than sign. So if he's saying Salad is better than
am.
Enterprise, no,
I know what I'm saying.
no, you're not. Nope. David Williams says that the Enterprise is worse than Salad, and I'm here to tell you, sir, if you could mail order me the good weed that you're smoking, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Now I got my joke off. You can say that you're Dekix.
There you go. What I'm saying is go from the Salad into the Enter.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and I'll admit, it kind of sucks because here's a great thing about Eve Echoes. No matter what route you go down, there's not a wrong answer. In Star Trek right now, there is a wrong answer. Like, to be honest, and I hate to say this, if you wanted to go the best ship route, going Klingons right now is the worst answer. It's simply the worst answer. That kind of sucks, though. Like, every faction should be equal in terms of legitimacy. Sure, they could have some weaknesses versus the other factions, but in terms of officers and ships, Klingons are the weakest as a whole from level 1 to level 50. That's stupid. Ships-wise, they're definitely the weakest. Phil says, hey Rev, tier 4 Kelvin here and tier 8 Enterprise. What crew do you use on the Kelvin? So I would use the crew that I did on my Kelvin video. Phil, I'll be really honest with you, man. If I was you, stop investing money in the Kelvin right now. Right now. Do not put anything else in the Kelvin. It is a glass cannon. It has some great DPS, but it's going to bleed you dry in repair cost. Go up to either the Newton or the Pilum. Trust me, I know it's stupid to hear this, but it's far more cost efficient to run a Newton and a Pilum than it is to run your Kelvin. Stop wasting money on the Kelvin. That's my advice to you, my friend. I'm not saying go out and blow like $20,000 to get the Pilum right now, but in terms of what's better, like, it's the difference between the Enterprise and the D4 at 3-star. I mean, it's like huge, huge jump. Hell, it's like the Enterprise versus the Legionary. Man. Keegan says, Rev, I'm level 26 with a D3, no Pike, no Moreau. Can you tell me the best crew to run? It's bigger than my Kamari, but doesn't seem as good hostile killing wise. So the reason that's not as good hostile killing, the key to good hostile grinding is hull health, which makes you last longer. So what you want to run is, typically your Kamari is going to be better versus hostiles anyway. Battleships have a natural tendency to be better by grinding explorers. But if you want to run a hostile group on your D3, you want to kill battleships, so you want to run Cadet Uhura, Cadet McCoy, and Chin to fight battleships with your D3. Happy to help, Phil. And make sure, Phil, you hit me up on Discord if you have any questions. Like, I love the Kelvin, and I did the Kelvin video when the Kelvin was the first person who had the Kelvin. But seeing everything now with level 50s in the game and other ships in the game, it's not worth the time or the money. It's not. Like, even Dekix, who is a free-to-play, look far into the future player, he's not even going to bother with the Kelvin.
You're actually right, because I'm not going Fed at all. I'm going Klingon and Romulan, so
I mean,
you're absolutely right.
But even then, I would hope that with you given the level of dedication that you put into researching, needing the foresight to free-to-play, you would not waste time on the Kelvin. So.
Yeah, I'll be getting the Corey now.
Coronar, not enough people have gone Klingon, surprisingly. The Coronar's not bad, though. The Coronar has good reviews.
Well, my thinking is that'll save the credit so that I might one day have enough to buy the... what's it called? Valdor.
Yeah, it makes sense. Valdor's good, but Valdor runs into a similar problem as the Kelvin. Now, it's not as bad as the Kelvin.
The big one. The
Tribune.
The Tribune?
That's
oh.
Yeah.
Okay, Dekix. You be realistic, bro. That's like 10 years away for you as free-to-play.
It's 3 years away.
So, when is the wedding ceremony between you and Scopely? Because at that point, I'll give you a hint, though. Don't sign a prenup. Don't sign a prenup. Marry Scopely, no prenup. Yeah, ROM ships for 4-star, Craig. You're right. Of course, I've been preaching that for a while. I mean, ROM's the best. Amber says late but made it. Amber, you don't know how we've been waiting here for you, actually. For the past hour, 16 minutes, and 9 seconds. We've been waiting for you to show up. And now that you're here, we can finally breathe a sigh of relief. We can finally know but the most important viewer has made it. And that actually brings a little bit of relief to us because it's stressful not knowing when that one viewer who makes everything worth it appears, but you have. And now that you've appeared, I'm happy. So welcome to the chat. Yeah, now that you're here, click the like button. Sorry, I don't know what I'm... Okay, any more? Keep dropping questions, everybody. Keep dropping them. Kathleen says, if I go to Dublin and throw 1 million pennies at them, will they fix the shield up raid glitch? Kathleen, if you throw $1 million worth of pennies at Scopely, you'll probably be arrested for assault because in the UK, they consider everything a weapon. Like, everything. Pretty weird. Those laws are weird. They don't let you fight in the UK, like, it's a thing. Like, you can't have a drunken brawl. You, like, go to jail for the rest of your life.
You throw 1 million pennies at Scopely, you'll probably get half an enterprise.
Oh, here's a good one. How long would it take you to throw $1 million worth of pennies at Scopely? Come on, let's do our math. Let's just say at the best rate, you could, that's 1 million pennies, obviously, for those who don't know the conversion rate there. It'll help you out a little bit. I make myself laugh. So let's,
About 1 penny at a time?
well, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we're going to do it 1 penny at a time for maximum accuracy. So let's say that you had 1 million pennies, and realistically, you could throw a penny every 2 seconds. That's 2 million seconds. Divide that by 60. That's 33,333 minutes. And divide that by, man, do that again. So that's 555 hours. And then now do 24. 23.1 days of continual throwing for you to hit Scopely with 1 million pennies. Honestly, I'll be honest, worth it. Maybe we could set up a rotation where we had all the content creators and we took shifts throwing the pennies. Soma says you die first. You probably would be exhausted. Emperor wants to know, can you use a penny cannon? Never even heard of that. Oh, David says it's 100 million pennies. Really? That is. Wow. Don't come to Rev Deuce for tax advice. Ever. I'm going to get screwed. Yeah, 100 million. So now I'll redo the math. Actually, we don't have to really do the math because if I did 1 million, now I got to multiply the days by 100. So that's 200. Woo. Wow. 2,300 days. That does change things. It changes things a little bit. We're going to have to run some pretty heavy shifts. 1 penny at a time. Nate says, did any of the officer updates fixes change which officers' abilities do or don't work in armadas? Not that we are aware of, no. No, the same officers that don't work in armadas still do not work in armadas. Amber wants to say, can we make a makeshift Gatling gun penny launcher? I like where your head's at. I do. The only worry I have is that we'll spend more money on the engineers to craft such a device than we will on the game itself. Honestly, still might be worth it. So, let's do it. Let's do it. Grant says, interesting fact, you would not live long enough to count to 1 billion. Grant, that's not true. It's not true. You know why? 1, 2, skip a few. 999 million, 1 billion. Bam! Did it! In one lifetime. I could do it again. Would you like me to? Would you like me to? Can I do it again? Oh, man. David said it'd be true dedication to throw that many pennies. I would say that there are people that are frustrated enough to join a penny throwing group. You know, if we started like a whole thing, I'm sure we could get thousands of people to sign up to throw pennies at Scopely. So.
There was a website knocking around a while ago where you had to click as many times as these people on the planet, and they got people on there clicking, and they did 8 billion clicks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like you'd be really surprised what humans will do for a stupid goal. You'd be really shocked. Maybe some of you wouldn't be shocked. Which, by the way, if you're coming in and you are shocked at the level of bad dad jokes being spouted off in this stream, hit that join button to support me so that I can become the professional streamer you want me to be, which is one that represents the community with terrible dad jokes. Also, talks to the community managers. Yeah. Alex says, Rev, can you look at my question above, please? No, because you asked so rudely. How dare you? The caucasity of the audacity. Yeah, sure, Alex. Just look at your question. Scrolling up, looking for Alex's. I don't even see a question, Alex. What is the question? Where is the question? How far am I got to scroll? Okay, I found one. Should I save all recruits for new officers? Any chance they add new faction ships at lower levels? Currently, I'm upgrading Ops 25. No, I don't expect any faction ships at lower levels. Maybe at the higher end of 3-star? But I'd be very surprised if you got a whole slew of new faction ships like for level 20. And I mean, maybe if they were really trying to market new players, but I don't see that. As far as saving your factions, your ultra recruit tokens, I am. You can bet your bottom dollar I'm saving my ultras. I think I'm up to like 12,000 now. I'm 11,000. I'm going to keep saving. Thomas says, what would you use the Bortus for mostly? Mostly for rep grinding and hostile grinding. So hostile grinding and secondary base cracking. It is a fantastic hostile grinder because of the amount of hull health it has. You put Pike Moreau chin on it and you're going to be going through a lot of explorers. By the way, shout out Grant Sharp! Signing up to be a cadet. You're not part of the crew. And what that means is you're more important than everybody around you that doesn't have a green name. I'm sorry to non-green name people. The exception to that rule is obviously Amber because we already announced Amber's the most important person in the stream. So my bad. But please and thank you for supporting. It means a lot to me that you do that. Let me turn my alert box on. That way the next time that... here, I'm going to turn it on and then... Bam. Should repeat the alert.
Thank you very much, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Thank you very much, sir. You are a gentleman and a scholar, and you're now one of my favorite people in the world because you're supporting me and my family literally eating food. And if you haven't seen this belly... James says, how do you think the Discovery would compare to other ships that are in the game right now? Fantastic question, because you're talking about a third timeline. A timeline where technology is different. A timeline where we do barrel rolls to go to different locations. I think it would compare to the Mayflower or the Saladin. That's what I would say. That's where I would put it. But the thing about that is, how would the Spore Drive work? Would you have to collect Spore Drive tokens and then you could instantly go to wherever you wanted to or something? How would that work? How would you get tardigrades in the game? What would they look like? I mean, obviously we know what they would look like. But, Craig says I'm never important. Craig, you know Craig is one of our longtime supporters, and Craig is throwing a hissy fit now, so we're going to shout out Craig. Craig is a supporter who literally has access to the private room in the Discord, so he obviously knows he's important, but now he's just being a whiny little baby because he hasn't gotten his attention. So here's your attention, Craig. I love you, and I hope you're doing well. By the way, Craig, I hope all of your doctor's appointments have been going well because I haven't asked in a couple of weeks, so hopefully you're doing well with the things that you had coming up, not to put your personal information out there. All right, Thomas says, would Prime Officer research be worth buying? And what would be the second and third ones to buy? Prime Officers, if you want to spend $100 in the game, it is worth buying. It's one of the only things that I would say is worth buying, though. But yes, Prime Officers is totally worth it. You see an immediate boost in not only your combat, but in overall ability. Because you're now going to have like more defensive stats, more health stats, more attack stats, etc. So it's a definite go-to. And Thomas says Prime Crystal is nice. I don't buy Prime Crystal. I encourage you hit level 34. Get you a D3 to at least tier 8. And then scrap that Joker and get Crystal. I would not buy Prime Crystal. That's my personal opinion, though. Keegan, $1 donation. Keegan, thank you so much for that $1. That is actually 70 cents because YouTube takes 70% of it. I'm sorry, 30% of it. Man, math is bad. Math is bad. But I appreciate all support, and that dollar is going to go towards buying something for the baby. Because the baby is starting to outgrow some clothing, so we're going to buy the baby some more clothing. Appreciate it. Craig says not been going well. Well, hit me up, Craig, and of course, I'll be praying for you. Appreciate you, man, and you know I love you. So just keep us updated with what's going on. We don't want to put it out on stream, though. Louis says, Rev, what do you think is the next Battle Pass event? I think Outlaws is done. Outlaws are done. The next is going to be something different. What it's going to be? Well, time will tell. But it is definitely different. Craig says messing with you. Craig, I don't believe you. Craig, you're being totally serious. 100% serious. All serious. James, wow. James with a $15 donation. James, thank you so much. I appreciate that $10. I am, wow, that's very, very generous of you. Thank you, James. Appreciate it. James, if you are not already, make sure you jump into the Discord and you get the privileges to the captain's quarters. And you're going to access to that video I'm making, that one where I'm putting up the blooper reel, which I think will be a lot of fun. So make sure you're in there so we can get you the proper privileges. Grant says, at what tier does the D4 hit 2 million? I'm tier 3 and it's 1.6. So one, it depends on where your research and officers and stuff like that are. So mine is tier 5 and at 2.2 million. And it is a fresh tier 5. So basically you need tier 4 with, actually, I don't think tier 4 even did it for me. I had to hit tier 5 and then I had to hit up my levels. So I think it was like level 21 at tier 5. I hit 2 million, something like that. So tier 5. Now with researches, or if you're like a higher level, that number would be a little bit lower. But for me, tier 5. Whoops. Go back in your home, D4. Stay in your home. James says it was a long time coming. James, just FYI, if you want to get your most bang for your buck in terms of your donation, PayPal, Venmo, I get 100% of that. YouTube takes 30%. Not that I'm complaining. I take every bit you give, and I appreciate every single dime, every penny. All one. I'll be honest. If you guys want to give me $1 million in pennies, I will let you throw $1 million in pennies at me. Damn. Dark Trooper says, in Eve Echoes, is there a way to save locations? No, there's not. Not yet. We are hoping for bookmarks, and we are talking to them about bookmarks. I've been talking to the community manager. I was actually talking to the community manager several times today, you know, just talking. So hopefully that's something that gets added in the future. They have a lot of things that they're hoping to add in, so we'll see. But yeah, that is in the list. Next up, SDN says that theirs is tier 4, 2.3 million, but I'm going to assume in SDN that you're probably higher than level 36 or 37. Because that sounds like a lot of research. Star Trooper, more than happy to be here and more than happy to help. Ghost says, spoiler, time will tell, coming soon. What size my daughter needs? What do you mean what size? Like clothing? Well, she's 4 months. So in terms of what she's going to grow into, we're buying the 6 to 12 month old stuff. Or are you just wanting my daughter to come on stream? I mean, I can ask my wife to bring her. Y'all just want to see the daughter. Let's see. By the way, I got my phone out so I can text her. Bring baby. Baby incoming. Baby incoming. Wow, Keegan says throw 300 more pennies at you. Thank you, Keegan, for that generous 300 pennies. It hurt, but it was worth it. David says, I guess I'll keep figuring stuff out. Was there something? Did I miss a question, David? I hope I didn't. I really am trying to get every question I can. Obviously, it's tough to get all of them, but I really am trying to get as many of them as I can. By the way, Nate, once again, thank you for that $3 donation. Every little bit does help, and every little bit makes me love you more. Thank you, Keegan. By the way, what happened to Amber? Did Amber come in here, get hyped up, and then literally drop out? Because that's annoying. How dare she? Dark Lord said the showrunners have confirmed that the show takes place 10 years before the original series in the Prime timeline. So not the AJ verse. I know they're saying it's the Prime timeline, but it's a completely new one to me. I know it says it's the Prime canon, but it doesn't feel like the Prime canon. It doesn't. It doesn't, Dark Lord. Amber says I'm still here. Oh, cool. Good thing I didn't trash talk you at all. By the way, Amber, real quick, I have to say this. This is to any ladies listening. If you are a lady in the game, Star Trek Fleet Command, one of the things that I'm very proud of to have accomplished is I have now got access to a direct customer service rep for women to report problems like sexual harassment, homophobia, transphobia, sexism, all of that because Scopely really does want to try to crack down on it more. So one of the recent things I was able to do is work with them to get an actual CS rep that I have direct access to for this issue. So if you are a lady in game, please contact me in Discord so I can make sure that you have that access as well. Because it's not just about me reporting it, it's so that you have that access. So if you have those type of situations or you need that help, hit me up. I'll be more than happy to get you connected and show you how that works. I think that's a great... If I have to give credit to Scopely for anything, that is something I think Scopely deserves a lot of credit for, that they worked with me to do that. James, another 500 pennies. It hurts so good. If it was Twitch, I would be doing other things. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Burn says, sometimes it's just a case of waiting. Sometimes from... Burn, why are you texting? You're in the chat. You're in voice.
Oh, I was replying to somebody in the chat.
You can use the voice. You know how hard it is to talk for 2 hours? My throat is like, stop. Stop.
I was just replying to that David.
Yeah.
With his question about yellow hot sales.
David says, I'll double check all space for missions because I'm way past Ops 19. What's he looking for? You looking for anything in particular?
He's all about yellow hot sale.
Okay. Why have I not finished my mission yet? Unlocking the rest of all space besides the first 4 systems. Oh, yeah, it's all missions related, if I remember right. Unlocking the rest of all space besides the first 4 systems. Who is feedback? It's all missions related. Marty, haven't heard you in a while, buddy, but I've got you now muted just because you're feeding back on me. So if you could turn off that open mic, maybe put on some push to talk, and then let me know. Lauren says, can we delete characters in Eve? If you contact customer support, but why would you want to leave such a great game? Sorry, music. Why my wife not brought the baby? Because I'm gonna call her. Hey, where you at? Oh, already? They wanted the baby. The people in the stream. She asleep? She asleep? Oh, all right. Sorry, everybody. Baby's asleep. No baby for y'all. Well, don't wake her up. She's asleep, man. Well, I'll be streaming on YouTube for like 30 more minutes. So if she wakes up, cool. If not, no biggie. They'll just have to wait. Baby. Thank you. Back. Sorry. I had to take my head off so I could call on the telephone. You used to call me on my cell phone. Say now when I need your love.
Marty is echoing everything you said.
Well, I've muted him. Do I need to server mute him?
You need to server mute him.
Bam! Server muted. Yeah, Gothic Marty.
Off the bed, Rev.
Already, Maxie? What is your name, Misty?
Hi, Maxie.
Well, it was good hearing from you. I hope you have a wonderful night. Laromi says, I rolled a character I don't like, so instead of using all 3 slots, I want to re-roll on them. There's currently not a way to empty that out right now. You would have to just request a deletion, I'm pretty sure. There's not a way to just manually delete your account. But, I mean, honestly, just use that account for planetary production. That's really all you need it for. Unless you just want to run 3 accounts with like 3 Omegas or something. Wesley equals Marty in game. Okay. Hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah, you were you had an open mic that was feeding back literally everything we were saying, so we had the server mute you. Jason says, last time I promised, is Captain you're a DC, Decius and Rowe a functional Armada crew trying to figure out what our 6 teams should be running. Okay, so your DC and Decius are going to be the exact same thing. It's like that's not necessarily a bad thing, I guess, but I would rather use something else. Example, 5 of 10 is captain to get the mitigation, and then have DCs on the side. I mean, also remember that if 5 of 10 is captain, you're going to get more loot from the Armada reward. So I try to use 5 of 10 as captain as much as possible because, one, she's a slightly weaker version of a tier 4 Zao, and she gives you a bonus to the loot that you get. Still, with your loadout's not bad. You're getting a lot of DPS there. But the thing with Stellas is they already get a crap ton of DPS because they're firing 16, 8, 16, 8, 16, 8. So you kind of want to focus on mitigation and survivability more than more DPS. You're already doing stupid DPS. You need a little bit more survive in there. Funny says, can I look at your question? How dare you tell me what to do? You arrogant little Star Trek Fleet Command player. Sure. Can you buy Hijack blueprints in the Augment store? Can. I think it's level 26 now. I think they changed it down to level 26. So if I go in my faction store and I go to Augment, there they are. I've already got all 3 of them, and I could build 2 more. Which, while I'm here, do this and get more Augment credits. Frederick says, I run Rare Spock, Epic Kirk, and DCs for Armadas. That is a very, very common loadout and a very good one. Absolutely nothing wrong with that loadout.
Hey, Rav, on the Stella, with the Eclipse defense, once that gets to a certain level, you would no longer need mitigation officers, right? Because that's all that research does for the Stella is mitigation.
I don't think it gets it to the lowest possible mitigation, though. I'd have to rerun it. Yes, that mitigation in the research is important. I actually went with the top tree, though, not the bottom tree. So I went the attack tree over the defense tree. Because I figure my officers will provide more defense. That was my strategy. I admittedly did not like the Outlaw arc, so I did not put as much effort into it as I did the Borg. I did enough to complete the Battle Pass, but I just feel like the Stella as a whole and the research tree is underwhelming. So,
well, Eclipse Defense isn't in, it's the one you unlock to get the beta particle,
yeah.
So you get it regardless.
I thought that was the bottom tree where you had that mitigation research.
You can get both trees.
Yeah. Yeah, well, once you get the second tree, you can go back and do the first one, right?
Once you get to Accomplice, I think he was at Troublemaker, the page he was just on.
See, I don't know everything, everybody. I don't know everything. I know a lot. I know way more about this game than I ever thought I would. By the way, shout out to P. Patterson, who just did a $5 PayPal donation. Appreciate it. Every little bit helps, and that one goes straight into the pocket to buy clothes for the baby. Excited about buying clothes for baby. I think I'm done with my cow event. I've been doing cow this whole time and I've been done with it. I'm gonna be stupid if I did that. David wants to know why I like the Burrell so much. So the Burrell is great because it's a great PvE grinder and it is fan-flippin-tastic at PvP. Its firing pattern is actually what makes the Burrell so strong. It has a nice double kinetic in there. And it adds way more DPS than what you're typically seeing from like a Gladius or an Intrepid. So my Burrell, when I had a Burrell, like it was my main ship at 2 million, I was killing 2.5, 3 million Enterprises with it. It's just a very good ship that has a great firing pattern that makes it extremely useful in PvP. And it's also a good PvE grinder. And I used it for swarms too. So it was a multi-purpose boat for me. Obviously, I don't use it as much now at 37, but still love it. Now that we've done this, I can actually switch accounts and go and unveil the Vidar on the new account, on the 43 account. I'd planned to do this like 30 minutes ago and I got distracted. So, bling, account. Here's.
I'm going to get off Rev because I need to go up early.
All right, Dick.
So,
have a great night, my friend. Burn. Dang it. Have a great night, Shinjo.
All his Brits sound the same.
Yeah, you do. It's the accent. Like,
don't have an accent.
All of you are Brits. You're all Brits. Some of you are Welsh.
But also, Dekix is leaving as well.
All right. Well, both of you, good night, you silly Brits.
Take care.
Good night, y'all. All right, Wesley. Yeah, no problem. Got you unserver muted there, Marty. Hopefully you're not as crazy as before. David, yeah, it's 71.2% in that max mitigation. So. Hey, Jonathan. What's up, buddy? You're coming in a little bit late, but welcome. Now let's go ahead and hit this button and do the unveiling of the Vidar. Nate says, any updates on merch? What updates would you like? I've got merch. I love my merch. I think my Teespring store is pretty awesome. I mean, I've got almost everything that I've made. I've bought for myself. So. Hey, Jonathan says, I wanted to watch the unveiling and say hi to your admiral. Well, whoever your admiral is, assuming that's me, hi. And yeah, here's the Vidar. Hey, Marty, you're feeding back again. Bad, Marty. Bad. All right, there's our Vidar. Yay. New design sessions on Twitch. Update on hats. So, the hats, because I cannot mass buy them, here's the hat. Now, it comes in a couple different colors. If you want the hat, I think it's $45 for me to get one made and ship it to you. I know it's pricey, but because they're one-offs, it cost me well over $30 just to get them made and shipped. So, $45 if you want a Rev Deuce hat. It's the current one we have designed. Adam says, what changed when you go to level Ops 34? Is that when 4-star material comes? Nope, 4-star is not available until you hit the wonderful level of technically refining it 40, but you can get out and start mining it at 39 because you can get in a deep space. But it's not something that you should have to concern yourself with until 39. Now, at 34, you can then scrap D3s, Mayflowers, and Legionaries for the 4-star materials you need to unlock some researches. But Babylon 5. A lot of people always mention Babylon 5. I've never actually watched Babylon 5, so I don't catch a lot of the references. That's on me. Not nerdy enough for the Nerdle Club. Happy to help, Adam. That's what I'm for. We should do another Twitch design session. That's really fun when we do those, though. It's a lot of fun. Transwarp cells unlock the Vidar. The Vidar unlocks transwarp cells. You had it backwards. But transwarp cells are unlocked by the Vidar. Am I on the wrong one? No, I'm the right one. All right, so now we want to swap. Pull out our Vidar. And we don't have any of these. So we're going to, one, assign officers. I didn't even get a probe, did I? I mean, a token. Let me see. I'm going to just try to go to a system and see if I have a token. I don't think I do, though. Babylon 5 is great once you get past the bad CGI. See, that's really tough for me. Like, I want sci-fi in my video games to look good. And Babylon 5 was less of a budget than Star Trek, so its CGI was pretty bad. The little bits I've seen, like the battles and stuff. But I've heard that it has a great storyline. I feel you, Alex. So yeah, once you get the Vidar, you should start spawning transwarp tokens. And let's just pick this one. Oh, I do. I do have all of them. All right. So let's go start grinding some babies. Go here first. I had 8. Which was better, Babylon 5 or Andromeda? So I'm going to say Andromeda because I've actually watched Andromeda, but obviously biased. I haven't watched. Grant says Babylon 5, but Andromeda is very good. I mean, Andromeda has Hercules. How can it be better than having Hercules? I love Stargate. Stargate is my second favorite sci-fi series of all time. So, like, my sci-fi series, if I had to rank them, would be Star Trek, Stargate, Doctor Who, Star Wars. That fifth spot's really tough for me. Firefly. Then after that, I would actually count Cowboy Bebop. Anything Gundam. Battlestar Galactica. The new one is in there right after. What else? So for me, Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis. I did not like the third series, but I did like Atlantis. Stargate SG-1 was the best, though. That was the best. Frederick says back in the mid-90s, the CGI wasn't bad. Today, it's awful, but not back then. Well, here's the thing. In the mid-90s, I was like 4 or 5 years old, so my expectations are higher. Also, we should start building on my base and research. I need more dilithium. I am hurting for dilithium on server 43.
So as far as Stargate Universe goes,
Mm-hmm.
The first season was not good. Just be nice about it.
It wasn't.
And it seemed like about halfway through the second season, they finally started to figure out what they wanted to do as a show.
Mm-hmm.
But by that point, they were already canceled, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely a case where it's like a Star Trek series where the first 2 seasons were crap, and by the end of season 2, they figured it out, but they were canceled by that point.
Yeah, and the problem Stargate ran into is Star Trek ran into this problem where you run for so long, people almost could become numb to what you are, and like new people don't start watching your show because they figure, well, it's been running for 20 years, I have to watch all the other ones. Because Star Trek had that problem for a long time, which is why the reboot was so important. Is people didn't jump into stuff like Voyager, except for hardcore Star Trek fans, because, well, Star Trek had been on TV for like 15 years at that point. They're like, well, I don't want to go back and watch everything. And you couldn't back then either. There was no Netflix. There was no Hulu. No YouTube.
The other thing is that Voyager was first run on UPN.
Yeah, and that was Enterprise's problem.
So few houses at that point that it didn't really matter.
Yep.
That's one of my concerns with right now. There's 3 series that are airing in some form, plus 4 more that are on the way in some level. For Star Trek, and I'm worried about having 7 different series in some level of production that could also result in series fatigue and overload.
Mm-hmm. As much as I love Star Trek, I will go 6 months not watching any Star Trek. Because you gotta unwind from it.
Yeah. Completely unrelated to Trek or TV. Are you interested at all in Crusader Kings 3 coming out tomorrow?
Didn't know that was coming out. I've got several hundred hours in Crusader Kings 2.
I I had a friend that kind of got me started to think about Crusader Kings 2, but it was really late in the cycle and I didn't get too far into it. But
Do you like it? Like, is that your type of thing?
yeah, it is. Ridiculous amount of hours in a Sword Civilization game going back to the first one. Which, I mean, Civ 1 came out when I was like 1990 or so, 90 or 92.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have been 10 or 12.
The thing I've always loved about Paradox is all their games overlap each other. So, like, you can take dynasties from Crusader Kings and then insert that into Europa Universalis. So, the interconnection of, like, building a dynasty through games is pretty dang cool. And D. Stevens, I have never seen Farscape. Never seen that one either. Amber says, that's news to me with around 600 hours in CK2. Yeah, I just looked to the website. September 1st, CK3 drops. Pre-orders out now. So, thanks to this guy, I now need money to buy Crusader Kings 3. How much is it?
50.
God, $50. Guess I'll have to wait.
Sorry.
Ooh, if you pre-order the Royal Edition, you get the game, then the expansion pass, which has the first major expansion and then a couple of flavor packs in it. That's 75 euros. Dang it, man. I love Crusader Kings. Anybody got $50? Somebody want to PayPal me $50 so I can buy Crusader Kings? I can stream it. Y'all can see what it's like. If anybody's into that type of game, I know a lot of people don't like to watch those type of streams. I do because I love strategy games and stuff. But I realize that's not everybody's cup of tea.
The only reason I knew that it was out tomorrow was because someone that I watch periodically on Twitch was streaming it this morning.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't hear that. Frederick says, Rev, you didn't need to watch Star Trek. You play it. You make your own episodes daily. I mean, yes and no. I mean, I'll be honest. I would not still be in this game if I was not obsessed with Star Trek as a brand and as an IP. I would have left this game a long time ago. Just like I left Clash of Clans. I mean, it was a fun game while it lasted and I got bored. I'm here because I love the community and the IP. All right, upgrades. This one. I love how cheap the upgrades are at level 25. It's so nice and refreshing. So nice. Okay, winner, chicken. Select my reputation. Waiting for our Vidar to get there, which we'll get there in a second, and then we can start grinding more. Grant says Farscape had Claudia Black and Ben Browder from SG1 as the main characters. I think I remember that when I was watching SG1, like people referenced that, but I just had never gone back and watched Farscape. I don't even know the plot lines. So Alex says I love Civilization but couldn't get into Crusader Kings. Crusader Kings is like the really hardcore deep strategy type game where you're not relying on fancy battle graphics or anything like Total War does. Total War is not as in-depth into the family tree system, but can be a lot of fun because you have the awesome battles. CK is like, you got to be really wanting to like build up your family crest and dynasty and do that. And it really interests me. I love it, but I definitely see how it's not everybody's cup of tea. I, on the other hand, love the idea of starting off with a single county and becoming the king. So my favorite character in Stargate was Teal'c and Daniel Jackson. Jack O'Neill had some hilarious moments. He's up there too. But I love Teal'c's character development over the course of the series. Daniel Jackson was always a nice play with Jack O'Neill, so the pairing is really what you should love. I mean, just great. Just great overall. John says, best brew recommendations for base cracking with the D4. Literally don't do that. You're better off base cracking with your Saladin than you are your D4. Don't even waste time doing that. You're just going to waste repairs. Let's see if I can even kill this 25. You don't have a Saladin, but you have a D4? Dang, Jonathan. What all ships do you have? Because the truth is, a D3 and a D4 are not good for base cracking because they lack hull health. They don't last long enough to do enough damage. Alright, so this is way easier than I thought it would. So we're going to keep grinding this out. There was somebody that said they was going to send me a phone, and I forgot to send them my address. And I still need that second phone to play this account on. They had an old S7. Anybody remember who that was? Oh, he says got the D3 and the Bortus. The Bortus is probably going to be your best. The repair costs are going to kill you if you're trying to do it with the D4. I would base crack with the Bortus. If there's no ships home, use the Khan Augment crew. If there are ships home, use Yuki as captain, Gorkon and Decius, or Gorkon and Khan. And if you're fine with repair costs, then take what I just said and put it on the D4. $1.2 billion titanium. Can I have some? Can I have some? Yeah, so if you're fighting ships, Yuki in there is going to help strip the shields on the ships really quick. That can really help. You raid a lot? I used to raid a lot until my time became split between a million different things. Just like I'm going to get Crusader Kings at some point. I'm going to dump a lot of hours in it. So if y'all wonder why I disappear for a week and only make like 2 videos, that's probably why. Alright, get out of the messages. Steve, is there any advantage to holding on to chest over 50? Nope, there's not. No advantage. Just makes you feel more accomplished. Amber says, those of us who love Crusader Kings fully understand it'll happen. I just got to find the $50. I mean, that's a lot of money for games. Games are expensive. Because I already spent 50 on Evil Echoes, so... Well, I spent like 47, something like that. 52, around that amount. David says, just made top 25 raiders on server 45. Congratulations, that's awesome. Yeah, I actually, I at one point was top 25. I think it was the highest I made, and then I have probably fallen into like the top 80 because I haven't raided enough in forever. Will Scopely ever buff up the generators? They're worse than useless. I hope so. That's the whole point I made my video, was to get them to pay attention to it and to bring attention, and hopefully people were upset enough to where they could cry out for it. I haven't heard any update on that, so we will wait and see, but that was the whole point of my video, was to make that singular event take place. Ooh, buddy. I cannot believe it's almost 2 hours. We are right at the 2-hour mark, which means I'm going to take like a 30-minute break, and then I'm going to go on Twitch, because Twitch lets me be a little bit more free, a little bit more me, a little bit more fun. But I'm going to be playing Evil Echoes, or Eve Echoes on Twitch if anybody wants to come by. Go ahead and head over to the Twitch channel. Make sure you also, I'm going to repost it. If you need anything in-game, and you feel like sometimes the Discord is too cluttered and you're worried I won't get it, message me on Facebook. Hit up the Facebook link. I just put it in the chat. Don't leave until you get all the links. Twitch, follow me on Twitch for content, for fun, hanging out. Hit up the Discord, obviously. But if you want to make sure that you get in contact with me, hit up that Facebook page. And then last but not least, if you want to help support the show, hit that join button on your way out, or send in a PayPal donation. And that would be greatly appreciated. Which, we've already got people following the Twitch channel, so we're going to get to it. So about 10:30 my time, I'll head that way. About 30 minutes from now, I'm going to grab a quick soup and chill. Love y'all. Y'all are amazing. Stay safe with us, Space Cowboys. Live long and prosper. And I will catch y'all in Twitch in about 30 minutes.